Welcome back to the Vtuber News. This is Salvi, the one who resides on the right side of your screen most of the time, and I'm here now just to remind you guys that I do have a goal for, at the very least, until my birthday in June. I would love to be able to reach 20k subscribers, so if you could please subscribe and continue to watch these videos whenever you have a chance, I would really appreciate it. Just a small reminder, of course, and do enjoy the rest of the video. A new accusation and a new Google document has dropped for Sykkuno again. Someone else is accusing him of some things again. Let's take a look. As you remember, this was the most recent situation with Sykkuno. Originally, it was Himomo who came out, Alfie Lee as well, about their dealings with him and their relationship with him while he was actively with his girlfriend. And here we have his apology note that came out and the girlfriend's statement as well. What am I talking about now? Why am I talking about a new different document that is out? This is Iceland. After reading both private and public apologies, I do not feel reassured. That is part of why I'm choosing to share my experience now. I also believe people can make more informed decisions when they have more context, not less. Sykkuno became my friend when I was 17 and he was 28. Nothing inappropriate happened at that time, but that history shaped the trust I had in him later. And here is the whole thing here, where they're talking about, the personal account of experience. A lot of our communication occurred over calls. There's limited written evidence. I have tried to include as much as I can. Readers can use their own judgment. Before people read this and dismiss it more as more of the same drama, part of why I'm making this experience public now is because both private and public apologies have left me feeling unsettled. To me, they have often felt more like explanations or excuses than meaningful accountability. This has been part of why what pushed me to speak, because I do not personally feel reassured that there has been genuine reflection, and I would rather others in the space have more information than less. This isn't meant to promote harassment, hate, or negativity towards anyone involved. I understand his girlfriend did not want the initial story to be made public. Reached out to her beforehand as a courtesy. With so much in the open, I feel I have the right to share my story, as I've been feeling used and misled. I will be talking actually about some of my personal things, which are quite frankly embarrassing to share, but I feel they are pertinent to understanding. TLDR, became friends with him when I was a minor, 17, and we remained friendly for several years. More recently, he made advances toward me and told me he was not involved with anyone else. Later found out that was not true. Had I known, I would have been I wouldn't have become involved because of past friendships and past drama she's had. And talking about how they met through a mutual friend. He did not do anything explicit to me while I was a minor. Conversations were casual, so there was no improprieties there. It seemed like we talked about games and Arknights and Animal Crossing, played art together, and just chatted. Here's the thing, though. I'm just going to put this out here right now. The main problem with this, let's say, there was nothing going on until she was way older, maybe let's say 22, 23, 24, etc. But the fact is they started when 17, so immediately the first word that comes to people's mind is grooming when it comes to this. Did he groom her? We don't know. Let's take a look. Including this because I think it's relevant to the overall dynamic. There's about an 11-year age gap between us. When I was 17, he was around 28. Seems the age gap is a thing that happens a lot with Sykkuno. Allegedly, of course. All this is alleged. All this is, they have their proof, but all of this are allegations, accusations, unless adjudicated in a court of law. And here we go. Sykkuno sending her stuff. Why are you messaging me? Heard you liked Arknights and you were Blank's friend. Sorry, never mind. No, I didn't expect you to talk to me. I am a slave for all the waifus and husbandos. So yeah, regular talking, as you can see here. I'll leave them for a little bit. But yeah, they're just talking about, didn't know anyone plays, about the same game. Basically the same thing he was doing to other girls. Being friendly at first. He, luckily, didn't do anything wrong, anything impropriety, no weirdness, no, asking for pictures or anything like that while she was underage. It's total for 2020. And it says, all right, unless I'm the one doing the kidnapping, lol. That is the first inappropriate thing I can see there. That is the first inappropriate thing there. Talking about the kidnapping thing. To a minor, you don't say those things. Go to Cali, I need to go pay. And then continuing there, if I'm my suitcase, etc. Just talking about regular stuff here. It's what you're into. Didn't know he's messing with a little. Here's a link to the video he was responding to. Again, I was a minor at this time. I understand at the end of the day, these are just jokes, but looking back, him making jokes that I feel have connotations from the get-go feels very off-putting. It seems like he couldn't turn off the the flirtatious mode quickly. He couldn't turn it off. He still went to it. I don't think he was actively flirting with a minor. I don't think he was actively trying to get with a minor. Let me just say that right now, because I don't want people to think, oh, Salvi's saying that he wanted to get with a minor. Salvi's saying he's a PDF. No, I'm saying that for whatever reason, his immediate thing is to flirt with people before he even knows their age, and that's never good. Again, a minor, and then continuing there. Are you responding while streaming? Your hair looks nice today. You don't think that actually looks nice. Dang it, look like a hobo because of the quarantine. Need a haircut. This is during quarantine time. And it continues down here to continuing to talk about, the hair and other things like that. Eating and maintaining short haircuts. Regular talk for here. Regular talk. Seems like he dialed back the flirtiness, the flirtatiousness that he already has. As facecam streamer, he would sometimes pop into my stream. Never thought much about his comments on my appearance while I was a minor, but going back and reading stuff like that. And the thing is, you can, the issue that happens here is that put into the further context that we have now, it does look really bad. It looks really bad for him to be talking in the way that he is. Like I said, I don't personally think that he was flirting with a minor, unless proven otherwise. But it was still inappropriate to be even slightly flirtatious with someone under the age of 18. Whether you knew or not, first, it's always good to first know the age of the person, then you get flirtatious if you want to. But remember, even if he knew that she was over 18, this is a person who was dating somebody. Sykkuno was dating somebody. Continuing here, go at 10 p.m., 2 p.m. your time. I invite him to my 18th birthday celebration, censored the months because I don't want the exact birth date to be public knowledge. And there you go, same to you though. Seems super friendly. Certain level of irony in this. Take advantage of or something too. So basically, he's like trying to be the safe side. I trusted him. Never heard of anything bad about him. I don't need positive interactions with him. He was a respected content creator in the space with a lot of friends. When Peak became popular, he started inviting me to group lobbies. So the invitations started happening there. Opened up to me about personal things, family, childhood experiences, relevant personal context. Dropped out of school at the age of 15. Extremely mentally unwell. I'm not a very balanced individual. Anyone who has interacted with me for longer than 10 minutes will be able to tell. Show it autism, ADHD, OCD, GAD, and eating disorder. So she's mentioning here she has a lot of stuff that she has to deal with on a daily basis. I'm not saying this is an excuse or a way to remove myself from accountability, but I think it adds context. So she tried to add a bit of context there. Struggle to understand people and why I was bullied badly before I dropped out of school. I had never had a boyfriend. She had never had a boyfriend. I had little no real world experiences. Trusted Sykkuno despite deep trauma that I'm not going to air out. And I feel disgusted looking in the mirror sometimes, knowing what I sent to him, and that was just another goal. So she is, of course, getting frustrated with the way she was treated. And became more than a friendship later. Seemed to shift when I learned I never had any relations. I can be very blunt at times. He's a huge successful streamer with lots of connections, status, wealth, etc. And that was the not having relationships because of medication side effects. She goes through everything here. Conversation started to become much more romantic. Directly asked if I was involved with other girls. Made it clear I wanted to know up front. He denied it and reassured me at that time. Had I known he was seeing multiple girls and inviting them to conventions, I wouldn't have gotten involved. I only engaged with him based on what I now believe were false pretenses. I thought he really liked me and it would eventually lead to a relationship. So here is the screenshots asking for a prize. From behind the prize question being explicit photo of me. He would play Mancala with each other. I won most of the time. And he says he's in the black. Remember, he's in the gray, the dark gray. You have another why don't you about my prize? My prize is won yet. I'm drawing this out. Hold you hostage. Want a present from behind next time. What can actually draw out? Wait until this actually goes. So it's basically them talking about wanting, him wanting a illicit photo from her. This is already after she turned 18, and later on he turned on. Seems like he turned on the flirtatiousness at some point after she turned 18. A screenshot below is after I sent him a specific photo. Agreed on a trade. He would never end up held up in his end of the deal. I'm so nervous. I've never done anything like this before. Routine, didn't ask him to send anything explicit, but seeing as he bragged about his D size, the guy was saying that he had a third leg there. I wanted a suggested photo. I guess I was also short show of trust, but he would also put off sending anything back or making excuses. And here we go. Not the fact that not the best, but I started working out and trying to make it nicer for you. And I know we said we'd trade. We wanted you to leave this before, wanted to have this before I leave. And it says, you're right, very sweet. Basically, him trying to kind of, weasel out of, doing the trade of some photo, because, guy said he had a third leg, so she wanted to make sure that it was true. And here's a screenshot there that you can read. This is why I have it a bit larger than I normally do, because I want you guys to be able to read it. And there is, his stuff there. Screenshot below is from our last conversation in March. He was still flirting with me despite everything, so he kept flirting. The flirtation kept happening. And meet in person in Paris. He wanted to meet in person. Here's another important part here. Also going to hang out when I visit Europe this year. I can't carry S. You going to Europe? Why? Paris. I think that was, there was a TFT thing, I think. Very busy. I don't know, a few years back. There's a TFT tournament. Yeah, it was a TFT tournament. Depends on what time you go. Went outside, public holiday. It was empty but still busy. And it says, basically, is it hard to get there? Short plane flight. Come hang out when I'm there. Trying to get her to go and hang out in Paris. I've been to Paris. It can be very expensive to be there. Absolutely. Go eat some food. Good French pastry. They do great pastries. Probably help with that. Don't worry. They do have good pastries over there, by the way. It says, practically stranger to you. What really? I first traveled overseas to Japan like last year. And again, I traveled to Japan too. But like never to meet anybody. I'm a recluse. I don't meet people. Traveling has always been normal to me because it's so tiny. If you want to leave, you want to do other things. America's so stupidly vast. Now, stranger, what the heck? Basically trying to get her to be comfortable. You can see all this. Trying to get her to be comfortable with everything. Trying to hang out in TwitchCon. And continuing to try to get her to go to Paris. Saying that he'll buy her the flight. Like he did with Elfie Lee. And he didn't mention Elfie Lee, but I'm mentioning it here because that's when the context. This was in April of 2025. And it says here, depends on the dates. Of course, July, September. Again, continuing to try to get her to go. Maybe something in return then. I'm bad at baking. Can't wait to try some food when I'm there. Basket cheese. Basically, they're having regular conversations, as you can see here. I'm passing through most of this. But yeah, he's trying to get her to be there because, well, he's trying to most likely get her in bed. As we know that he does that once he gets them where he has direct access to them. But that is just a player's way of doing things. That is at this point in time, this was 5 years after the original conversation. She's on 22 at this point. If everything is around there, 22, 23. And she is a consenting adult to everything going on here. After more than friendship involvement, when invited me to go to Paris again, well, Colin, I accepted, and we talked about it in DMs too. So she and him both had conversations, started having conversations through voice chats. Continuing here, Ravensburger ones, yeah, puzzle pieces. Continuing on just their conversations. I'm just gonna keep scrolling down here. Free will, that's true. What are you gonna be doing at the tournament? Playing TFT. Again, continuing to talk about the tournament, as you can see here. And just him buttering her up. Continuing to buttering her up, talking about regular stuff, about wedding stuff, about other things. Like other people's weddings, other things that were happening there. You don't have an address. And, like trying to get, more contact with each other. Maybe send each other things like, gifts and other things like that. And it says here, you'll win for sure. She's being very kind as well. Don't want to intrude. Want to be on a stream like that. But yeah, it'd be a little awkward. Continuing conversations. You could just see the conversations continuing here. And again, could put the cat collar in my safe stash. Lost the collar. Talking about a collar apparently. And we loaded raid because my friend had a collar. Continuing. It goes on for quite a while. Talking about macarons. Him just buttering her up for the whole thing. Ultimately, it didn't go because my German passport had expired and due to bureaucratic effery. Yeah, a lot of bureaucratic stuff happens there. Realizing I was not the only girl involved, some crazy coincidence to find Elfie Lee had been invited to Paris by him and anonymously DM'd her to ask if she was a similar situation to me. And it says, sorry, it seems like a super random thing. Had her DMs off so she didn't see it. Receipts of me confiding to my friend about the situation and talking about how I already asked him. And here's this point blank, asked him if he had a harem or was doing this with other girls and said wouldn't mind if that's the case. Just wanted to know, so if you knew what was getting into, was it a case of just my early release, thought of easy release, that it was special, was going to juggle at different days. And we spent another evening together watching Fallout. We laugh a lot and have fun. Then those things make me question. Like, he forgot I told him about I'm an only child. I don't, you know, basically he was starting to forget certain aspects of things. And right now, that is the main part. That she feels that she was being gaslit. She feels that she was being buttered up in order to get something out of her. Which is probably true. Honestly, it's probably true. And, you know, she's asking advice from a friend. He sent money and gifts as well. And, you know, same thing he did with Elfili, same thing he did with Hemomol. He did all these things. So let's take a look at what's going on here. The responses that she got from this. Very personal, yes, embarrassing thing to share. I did get played, was naive, gullible, stupid. However, I want to prevent even one other girl from a situation like this when it's worth it. I also want other girls to know they aren't alone. I know I'm a flawed individual. My actions may not make sense to others. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I tried my best to explain things concisely, but perhaps it could have explained my thought process more. Jenny, don't get why someone would even do what he did. When he put it at 17, and then they happen at the time, feels like you want to call him a PDF, but you got nothing, so you had to gray line. Come on, I'm not saying she did it intentionally. I'm not saying she did it to, you know, put out the PDF allegations. But like I did say, nothing happened at 17. He really started turning on the flirtatiousness. It seemed like way more when it was 22, etc. But still, he is a gaslighter. He is that type of thing. Anyone who doesn't want to read 47-page document provides far too much detail pertaining to her S-life. She got played by Sykkuno too. That's it. Basically, the entirety of the claims. She tries to make it seem like there's a predator because the same friends when she was 17. They were friends at 17, even though nothing happened until he was 18. So, at the very minimum, she's trying to push the whole grooming thing. It's up to you guys to decide if that's true or not. She tries to dodge accountability, any agency, honestly, by claiming she has ADHD, OCD, eating disorder, blah, 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 so therefore she's unable to properly engage with human beings, which means Sykkuno took advantage of her. And he sent her money, so therefore she must have been coerced to all of the decisions. Just a bunch of meaningless BS. Would have been easier if she just tweeted Sykkuno cheated on his girlfriend with me too, and left it at that. And here, brother Sky, that's life, and it sounds like you think you never plan on coming back. I mean, you have to have balls of steel to come back right now. Not right now, of course. And here it was about, 414, something recently that they talked about him coming back after the whole situation. Sykkuno, you're the GOAT. A lot of people are saying, about you degenerate. They're going against her. Basically, they're going against her. I'm not going to read everything that say here. You can see it here. Literally nothing illegal. You got played. You're just another side piece that he cheated on his girlfriend with. You're again trying to delete the definition of predator. You take zero accountability. Continuing here, seems that you low-key wanted him to be canceled forever. People are just criticizing her for the way she went through this, and basically people are saying that yes, he was a groomer. It could very well have been the case. There's not much proof there other than he talked to her for a long time, but grooming tends to be where you do butter up a minor so that when they are older, they are more susceptible, more accepting of your sexual advances when they get older. That's what the whole grooming thing is supposed to be. Here is more things. While deeply sorry you had to deal with something cheating, I do not approve of what Sykkuno did. The main actions happened when you were 22, 23. Alongside with what BAO Mujin were doing is very dangerous. He backed off when finding out you were engaged. You were unaged. Underage. Still a cheater, and amount of messaging is bad, but with the dialogue of people calling him a child P, this is all dangerous line. I'm sorry you had to deal with it all, but I like being cheated on, but everyone is word of caution for full intent. And here, you can't censor the dates. Here, we need proof when you were 17 when making the inappropriate comments, unless you have something else. So that is the last part that I'm going to have here. Besides this, which is one of my VTuber bullies checking on Sykkuno after this outing. Then she tries to add to the fire. And then she says, no, you were the reason the team had to add an intervention because you bullied other people, and showing this evidence here. I'm not singing I sign Nick out. You're definitely included. Hope you understand where I'm coming from. You should have been offering yourself up too. Shoe fits, I'm sorry. And then, basically things like that. So people were criticizing her. That is what I have about this situation. Let me know what you think. Was he a groomer? Was this buttering her up for later being able to have some kind of access to her? You let me know. Ooh, subliminal messaging. Follow the squirrel. Subscribe to the squirrel. This is not a psyop. This is just me being a dumbass. Ooh, subscribe. He deleted the video as we go to Mujin, and as you know, recently the whole Sykkuno thing, the whole Hemomol exposing Sykkuno, he put out a video against Sykkuno during the whole thing, and he has recently decided to delete that video and add another video here explaining his whole situation. I'm going to play you a little bit of it. It's going to be sped up because, you know, limited time and stuff like that, but that's it.
All right, so first things first, this video is not monetized. I'm not about to pull a CC in the big 2026. I'm making this in regard to my last video about Sykkuno. I want to clarify how this video came to be. Well, April 7th, when I was reached out to by Mal for the first time. I was told that a Google Doc was releasing soon about a big content creator. And this is when I was asked if I wanted access to it early to maybe make a video about it. I mostly never take them, always choosing to wait for things to unfold in public first before making my videos. What made the situation special though was the 17-minute video recording of the voice call between Mal and Sykkuno. My logic here was simple. It was me thinking that we already had the other side of the story, and it was Sykkuno admitting to his wrongdoings in the most raw and unfiltered way. This, even at the time. But it was a risk I was willing to take if it meant that I was doing the right thing. Unfortunately though, it didn't really work out as I had hoped, and I ended up making mistakes that I need to take accountability for, which is why we're here today. Or one who injures or exploits others for personal gain or profit. Due to this, I had come to the conclusion that yeah, this word fits. I'd find out quickly afterwards though that for many people, that word is only reserved to describe pedophiles or sexual predators, which made a substantial amount of people feel misled after watching the intro of my video.
Well, yeah, look, sometimes you can't go for the textbook definition. You have to go for the definition that people have created eventually, and most people see when you're making videos like this. That was a big mistake that he made.
It made it seem like a hit piece, exaggerating things, and it also made it seem like Sykkuno had committed very serious crimes, enough to land him in a high-security prison or something. But I still included the entire thing in my own video and completely missed that detail. So I take full responsibility for that. I'm sorry. Now look, with all that being said, apologies are great, but there's no use presenting them if there's no attempt to act on them. And that's exactly what I intend to do. But first, I want to go through some misinfo that was spread about me in recent days and set the record straight. Probably a bad idea, but hey, you're free to form your own opinion, go for it. Next, some people tried to claim that I changed my video's title because I was scared of a defamation lawsuit from Sykkuno. Sure, a random lawyer from Fiverr might claim that, but it's false. Here's a neat trick. You can go to a website like viewstats.com, go to any channel, we'll pick, I don't know, Mr. Beast, click on a video, and you'll actually be able to see any thumbnail or title changes since upload. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you were to do that with my video, you'd see that there were no thumbnail or title changes whatsoever since upload. So that's false. And look, defamation is about knowingly lying about someone in order to ruin their reputation.
So there we go. He goes on for a lot longer, for another like 7 minutes or so. We're not going to go over everything there, but we are going to go over some things that happened here. It says he dropped the video, talked about mistakes he made, about Sykkuno video, the mistakes he apologized for, was using the word, you know, the P word. Video rushed and clearly biased, sorry to Sykkuno's girlfriend for impeding on her privacy, and also privated his OG Sykkuno video. Good on Mujin for course correcting. I truly hope he commits himself to honest reflection and improvement going forward. This is legal mindset. He should correct things with powder as well, as the crash out was uncalled for, and his apology was good until he started talking about XQC. MF started coping and defending what he did afterwards. Also, he hasn't been bothered to apologize to Powder for some reason. Still no apology to crash out for Powder. Kind of expected that, to be honest. In my opinion, his apology was seeming kind of off. Other people, everyone's asking, why didn't he apologize to Powder? Why isn't this going on here? And we have here, I don't believe him because he doubled down and got pissed off at Powder and mocked her because she didn't agree with him and threatened to take the expose video to her for dating a black guy or some S. So yeah, if you remember that, this is the whole thing here about the whole crash out that he had that I did cover in a video here. And, you know, the whole about talking to, you know, dating a black guy, that kind of thing there. And here is the other person also deserves an apology for Mujin is Powder. His crash out against her was weird to say the least, with racist overtones and completely uncalled attacking character. The time he already knew it was in the wrong, but lashed out against anyone and everyone who contradicted the initial narrative. And going on here, hope people attacked me for calling out this BS of Mal, Effie, and Elfie, and Co. How they feel stupid for that. At the way he's behaved, taking the tweet and made the other day, and his refusal to still apologize for how he responded against Powder. I simply cannot take his apology for Mujin's good faith. What seems like to me he's trying to save face, which makes sense considering how much he effed up. If anything, I'm impressed he even bothered to make this video, because millions of people that enjoy his videos were unsubscribing en masse or something. Time will tell if he's being sincere here. And yeah, a lot of other people are saying the same thing. Right here we have something from Powder saying Powder ponders where her apology is from Mujin after he dropped an apology video over the Sykkuno thing. Mujin wouldn't dare apologize for anyone who isn't politically aligned with him, even if it's the right thing to do. She literally, basically people are also going against her here. You think Mujin's going to apologize to the right winger? That's basically a humiliation ritual to him. He's never mentioning Powder again. Dude was a complete D to her for absolutely no reason. Regardless of how he feels about her, she deserves an apology. I do believe that he deserves an apology. The main thing here is, yes, I'm calling him out on that. He didn't apologize. Mujin didn't apologize to Powder. He should apologize to everyone he hurt. including Powder in this case. You may not agree with Powder's politics. I don't agree with a lot of things that people say out there, but you cannot go on a personal attack like this on someone who is just, commenting on something that's going on, just because they commented on something that you don't like, or in a way that you don't like. So he should be 100%. If he's going to apologize to the community, he should also apologize to the people he's hurt. Powder as well, in the sense of the way he went in vitriol against her. Now, should she be the first one to be apologized to? No. The girlfriend, and mainly the girlfriend. Hemo as well, but, anyone else that he hurt, he should apologize to. But it should be a full apology to everyone. They are questioning her as we go to BAO Vtuber, who is a large Vtuber that is under United Talent. United Talent is a talent management agency. It's basically like an agent out there that goes and helps you get other things. And of course, this is about the Sykkuno thing with him doing an apology recently, or at least a bit of stuff there to apologize things. People are now wondering if DMs between BAO and Sykkuno's girlfriend were real. Instead, I can only wish them the best, and I hope that his ex, who cheated on over 5 years, can find the peace she deserves. And that was the Mujin thing that he put out there. And then here, have my worst fears become reality, then put in full display and used for profit for everyone to see is absolutely mortifying. Truly feels like a nightmare. I was already hard enough trying to work through. This is the girlfriend. This is Sykkuno's girlfriend. Work through things in private. This is just adding a layer of difficulty and stress on top of everything. It's made it so much harder for me to cope. Continuing on here, BAO, this was a message to BAO from the girlfriend apparently, and about the whole thing about Sykkuno trying to get VTubers girls up to his room. Well, I don't know if it was true or not, was misinformed. I talked about this and she talked about this during her video response. As we're going to go through here, I'll let you see a little bit of it, so you can kind of pause and read if you want. And then we're going to go down here. His girlfriend now publicly came out, said she had no idea about the Google Doc of Mujin's video. However, Mal claimed that the girlfriend was a member of some sort of group chat with BAO and other women that Sykkuno had been messing with. Right now, Mujin, Mal, and especially BAO have said nothing about this. BAO commented at all on the Sykkuno situation. I know people speculated her tweet a while was about him. BAO addressed it in her Discord. She confirmed the tweet was about him because spawn camping VTubers. It's only like 3 sentences. Spawn camping is crazy. I actually did in her last stream. She didn't go about it for long. She just noted that the girlfriend said she was considering moving out even before reaching out to her. Just to retract and say it was Sykkuno, she sounded predictably dejected. BAO talked about on stream. She told the girlfriend about Sykkuno's cheating, got in contact with some girls. Doesn't seem like BAO was involved in the doc, only getting girlfriend in contact with the women Sykkuno cheated with, so she would have evidence. As for the girlfriend, you look at Mal's doc, she said the girlfriend left the chat soon after, seeing the screenshots the women gave. Unless I'm missing something, I don't see any indication she was involved in discussions. BAO literally did the bare minimum to uphold the bro sister code and dipped out. Now people are going to implicate her in actions she didn't do. Sad, so I'm so used to this nonsense. I mean, it's best if we girlfriend wanting to know in private, yet having no idea these messages would be aired out, her problems in public. That was the main thing. I do understand that. I do give the girlfriend that. You don't want your dirty laundry being out there in public. No one does. Most people don't, at least. Difference in this treatment is crazy. Fruit basically got targeted and witch hunted. Sykkuno getting the OJ treatment. At least there's a massive difference between the ex and Sykkuno. He's more of just a scammer and an apathetic boyfriend instead of actually abusive like that schizo. So that time Fruit did get abused suffered abuse by her ex-boyfriend. Holy S, they hate Fruit. God was insane. Remember a lot of comments acting like she had gargled. Yep, basically continue that stuff. And we're going to the next part, which is BAO talks about trying to help Sykkuno's girlfriend. And that was a long one that I did on the video that I had on the 17th about BAO responding to the whole thing. I'm confused why she's speaking out about moving like this. It says TLDR, BAO almost convinces her to move. Last moment, Weenie Desu, which is the girlfriend, forgives him. Sykkuno proceeds to cheat again. I'm confused on why she's speaking out about her moving out like this. Was brought to her attention months ago, yet the DMs are labeled as less than 10 days ago from when the video first accusations were posted. I'm also confused because she was retweeting the girl's Google Doc, but in that video she also said she would forgive him. It was only last month in the voice call Mujin video. The girlfriend talking to BAO was only a little before the victim speaking to Sykkuno. Timeline had been pretty clearly outlined by everyone involved. This is what happens when she gets away with murder with Cinder. That's a little bit confusing. Never matched up then, yet it's only now people start to notice BAO's hiding and misleading information. So people are saying, they're like criticizing her, judging her, saying she's misleading information, saying she's hiding information, that type of thing. Didn't want to insert herself into the situation, but she got into contact with all the girls he slept with and got them into contact with each other. How is that not inserting yourself into a situation? Bao really needs to learn to stop and say, not my problem. Sykkuno's girlfriend contacted her first, discussed the video. How's it self-inserting herself? Yeah, after Bao vague posted about the subject on Twitter, then she proceeded to get into contact with almost all the girls Sykkuno slept with and got them into touch with each other. And, so basically people are continuing to criticize her again. Kind of sad. Side girl learns she's not main, gets mad about it, and immediately cut off contact with Cheater Boy. Through Bao gets in touch with the main girl. She tried to convince her to drop the Cheater Boy. Main girl forgives Cheater Boy instead. Side girl proceeds to team up with Vtuber and put out coordinated hit piece on Cheater Boy. Main girl didn't even know the hit piece was coming and did not want the situation to be made public. Didn't miss anything so far. Seems accurate now that we know a lot of the information. And yes, there are victims here. Yes, the people that he used as kind of like a harem are victims in a way as well. The main victim, of course, is the girlfriend. But yes, there are victims all around there. He did have his way with a lot of different women because of the way he can use his words to, a lot of people would say, manipulate the way things go. Let me know, of course, what you think in this one. I really do love listening and watching and reading what you guys have to say. So thank you so much for being here. We will continue on with the next piece.
Good and this attractive to young kittens like
Oh, God.
yourself.
Let's go again.
Actually, it's because I train myself in the ways of a blade. I
The
know
ways of the
you
blade.
don't understand it, but those of you who don't work hard don't have a right to complain about not being as talented
Of course
as
not.
me.
Never.
Because it actually takes a lot of hard work and energy.
I mean, do you know how hard it is to get up when you're a 400-pound, 500-pound, 800-pound, 1,000-pound? Damn, I just gained a lot of weight as I was speaking here. Specimen of a man with the scraggly neck beard and the pimples waiting to pop and the greasy face and greasy body. Do you know how long and how much hard work it takes to get to that point? The whole basement, it takes forever to find a good basement to dwell in. Do you know how hard it is? Thank you guys for watching as always, and of course take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.